got over the flow. Oh well. Let's do this. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Edain mod. Again with the history of the Edain mod. Today with Rohan. Rohan has been through not many changes actually. Their major changes are mostly additions to the faction. When they began, they were not much, but now they've become a true force to be reckoned with. What are you running into? Oh no! And we're against Enlargers. Oh no! This is a lot of oh no situations right here. Oh no! Oh, Enlargers. Enlargers is a problem. Gonna start with the horn. And we're going to get some pitch burners because that's the best way to deal with Enlargers elites. So, Rohan. Typically a very peasant-like faction. They are a peasant-like faction. Their main thing, their first two powers are make peasants better or give peasants armor, which makes them better. So yeah, that's the main turning point. The main thing you need to talk about with Rohan always is that they are very important with their peasants, and then obviously their final thing is that they have a lot of cavalry options, a lot of cavalry power in the late game. Now I'm thinking this Enlarger's AI might either beat me stupid or it will do absolutely nothing to me. Now these pitch burners are a new unit that was added into the recent patches. And they are incredibly strong. Like no joke. They can do more damage to structures than any other tier 1 unit in the game. They have some insane single target damage. And we'll be showing off plenty of that soon enough. Now we're going to get Edain as our first hero when we get once our resource structure has been, once our citadel has been repaired. But then we're going to take this outpost straight away. No waiting around. And I did also want to take this, and I completely forgot there was a cave troll here. So if I try to build this, I believe the troll will destroy it. Unless the troll's already dead. But that's fine, so I'm going to get the Rohan assembly point now then. Oh no, the troll is not dead. The blade masses are going to get wrecked. Let's make them come in and then just run them away again. Now these pikemen, I need to deal with these wargs. I need the pikemen to tank the damage while I kill the warg. Z. Anyway, let's get Edain. Now against Enlargers, they do have tier 1 pikes. That is a problem, but only if they make those tier 1 pikes. If they make their other units, they're done for. I need to focus down these wargs before they do too much damage. Oh, they've got a light mage. Okay. Watch what you say. Now this version of Edain is not the Edain you might remember from good old BFME2 1 and 2. This Edain is corrupted. He's still got Grima's control over him. He is a mere shell of who he truly was, or who truly should be. But that will soon change, because our middle power, our main power, is that we cleanse Edain of Grima. He costs a full 3,000 resources if you do this before he is cleansed. So obviously you want to do that before you want to get Edain first and then cleanse him. We'll just keep Edain there just so we can. We're going to use the draft power on here on our units just so they get the draft.
He's a herald of worlds.
Now the power I typically take as my first is draft, because it gives your farm or your flour mill the draft command. So all your units will come out fully drafted from that building from then on out. Which obviously is good. It is very good. Oh, the cave troll's dead. Do I kill the do I take the lair now? I think I leave the lair. I think I leave the lair and I go down here. So Edain of Rohan. Nearby allies gain attack damage but lose armor and are resistant to fear. Grima Wormtongue follows Edain around. And Edain Corrupted cannot attack or gain experience. So he's just constantly level 1. But he does have some interesting abilities. He has the banishment to exile power, which, honestly, since its beginning, has been a very back and forth power. It's never actually changed, but what it's capable of has definitely changed with how every other hero has been changed. So we're going to get another... We're going to need the one farm for the peasants. We don't need more than one farm for peasants. We're going to get stud farms. Stud farms reduce the cost of cavalry, which, by the way, is the main thing of Rohan. And the main thing of the exile camp. Oh, there's a troll there. We killed the troll. Oh my god. Okay, get rid of that troll there. It will focus my thing down before it actually focuses anything else. So, what is this assembly point? It is technically a forward well with a tower, and you can get Theodred from there. And I think he's the first hero we are going to get for our repertoire of heroes. I could build a stud farm. Not stud farm. I could get some exiles of Rohan before we do anything else. But I think, because we're against Imladris, we're not like against a large threat that can summon large hordes of armies. And we got good single target damage with our units. And if our units get weak, we can turn them into traitors of Rohan. So I'm content to just destroy everything and get Theodred. Because once we get Theodred uncorrupted, his ability to banish your heroes will change. So what does banishment do? Let me talk about it. On Grima's advice, he banishes target hero of Rohan. As a consequence, the hero fights even more eagerly for his people, dealing extra damage and recharging his abilities 50% faster. If the hero dies, he can only be revived after Grima is Theodred is freed from Grima's grasp. Left click on Theodred, Irma, Harmer, Gambling, or Merry. So not on every hero of Rohan, but 90% of them. And we have a lot of money all of a sudden, so we're going to get Theodred, we're going to get some exiles. Actually, no, we're not. We're going to get another stud farm and then get the exiles. Now, as I mentioned in the past, we need to keep an eye on how many resource structures we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We only have 4 right now. So we don't have many. But we do need to be careful because we are against Imladris troops here. These guys are no slouches in combat. In fact, I'm thinking of converting these into traitors just for now to give them extra damage. But no, we're actually beating them really well. If I was playing as this Imladris, I would just go full Blade Master spam. I would not go for anything else, because Blade Masters are the best way to deal with spam factions like Rohan. Dealing with spam factions, you want units that are good against middle tier units, but also that are good against good at dealing splash damage. So certain heroes, certain units, and a lot of Imladris is actually a lot of splash damage. So now we're going to get the Rohan Exiles. So what makes these Rohan Exiles so special compared to like the stables, Rohan Cavalry? Firstly, their recruitment speed is super fast. Super fast. They are some of the fastest recruiting units in the game without needing any extra things to them. Get some more peasants just to fill in our lack of units right now so we can deal with the backline. Also, these exiles actually are stronger than basic Rohan infantry. Not basic Rohan cavalry, even. And they really show it in their speed, their recruitment speed, most importantly, again. But also the fact that they are unique. Once you change this place to the King's Camp, you can only get 3 of these Rohan exiles. But then they become a different unit you can get from the exile camp called the King's Guard. And the King's Guard are a very interesting unit. They're exactly the same as the Rohan Exiles, but they are different because they are technically 2 different units. So you can actually get 6 of these Rohan Elite Cavalry units. Well, I wouldn't say elite, but semi-elite because of their fast recruitment and general use. And you might not actually believe this. This was only introduced after a few patches into Rohan. Rohan originally did not have the exile camp. This building used to not exist. It was not a thing. It was only ever a thing after, I think, Angmar was introduced or Lothlorien was introduced. After the 2nd or 3rd faction was introduced, was when Rohan got this building. And I must say, since then, I have seen Rohan in a different light. I've loved playing Rohan ever since this patch was rolled out. Because the Exile camp also has your heroic units, basically. Well, not heroic, your elite units, and 3 more heroes, if you'll believe it. From the stables, you get basic Rohirrim, which are very similar to the Exiles. You get East Folders, I think that's what they're called, who are good against structures. So you got fast-moving Lasonic Axemen, basically.
Our people must survive.
Then you've got what else do you get? Then you get Rohan Archers, Horse Archers, and then you get Rohan. Oh yeah, then you just get your elite units. And look how aggressively these towers are actually defending this area. Because, again, this is because we're playing as Enlargers. The AI has a few problems with playing with Enlargers because if you leave them alone, they'll actually do really well. But if you harass them, like I have been doing since the beginning of this game, and just conquer the entire map, the AI can do nothing. And it's even worse with Enlargers because everything is so expensive. And it's because of these extra expenses, just having something that can clean them up quickly and just beating the rock paper scissors game makes you immediately more powerful.
Nothing shall stand before us.
It gives you that extra power, that extra boost. Which is why, again, as I said, if the AI had gone full Blade Master spam against my peasants, I would have lost. Because as good as my peasants are, if they're getting rushed down by everything around them, that's it, they're done. However, this game is already closed. This game is already completed. I've trapped Enlargers in their base. They're bringing out units one at a time instead of building up. Obviously, I don't think I can actually destroy their fortress, but I'm very close to that point, actually. I'm very close to that point.
We must rise up.
I'd say I'm very close to the point now where I can just say, okay, I can just charge in and win. And I could do that with Siege, because with the Siege update, as I didn't really mention much with Gondor, Siege equipment is a lot more dangerous with the most recent updates, because of the fact that, yes, your buildings are stronger against that siege damage, but as soon as you destroy the building that is protecting your buildings, they take all that damage all over again, and then they're screwed. But we're going to show that you can do this without needing siege equipment. We need the armory, of course, because that's where we get all our good stuff. But as you can see here, we're at, what, 10 minutes into this game? We're 10 minutes into this game, and we're already got the entire south end of the map. We've destroyed everything in our way. We've got power points to spare. Theodred has got 3 now of his towers, which I think is overpowered. These towers are so busted. I think what they used to be was actually better than what they are now, because what they are right now is busted. But as you can see, over the constant fighting we've been doing, we've lost our entire peasant army. But that's fine, because we've now got a Rohirrim army. And Rohirrim are far more powerful and far more effective than any in anything else. Wait. Are these Royal Vanguard free upkeep? Did they not have any command point caps to them? Is this a glitch? I've never seen that before. But yes, we'll talk about that later. Right now, Rohan captains. This is what I've been sleeping on. These are the new things that are introduced with the Exile camp, or more importantly, the Royal camp. I did not know there was a settlement building there.
Our people must survive.
Oh, this video has been so ridiculous and stupid, but I love it. Just look at that. We don't even have to do anything. These guys are doing everything for us. God praise Theodred. And one more PowerPoint, we can save Theoden from Groomer's grasp. Yeah, we built stud farms everywhere. Stud farms do the cost of our units, our cavalry, but does not affect heroic units. That is an important thing to mention because of the Royal Guards. But yeah, you can see here we've got the Rohan Lancers, same as the Royal Vanguard, but they cost a lot more. The Rohan Axe Fighters, good versus strength versus close combat. They used to be good against structures, if I'm not mistaken.
What is your bidding?
But anyway, let's talk about these guys here. So they start off as a single target entity, but you should think of them as Thrall Masters. In fact, this probably was introduced with Angmar because of the fact they act as Thrall Masters. You can give them the lead soldiers of Meduseld, which are a swordsman unit. The lead wardens of Meduseld, which are a pikeman unit. And then finally he gets the lead knights of Meduseld, which is what we're going to go for. Which is actually at a discounted price as well.
How may I help you?
And then we have our units. And the same with Elfhelm. And each of these heroes also have a special ability. So first we've got our three main guys. Erkenbrand, Elfhelm and Grimbold. Grimbold gives his unit extra speed and armor. Elfhelm heals all units around him. And Erkenbrand summons 2 units of whatever unit he is. So if he's swordsman, he summons 2 swordsmen. If he's a pikeman, he summons 2 pikemen. And if he's a knight, he summons 2 units of cavalry. I mean, yeah, look at these knights of these pikemen of Imladris. They're actually doing really good at fighting back, but these are still just towers that we summoned with Theodred. And I can make more. He made more. And yeah, we've just dominated this map. Rohan has so much. If you can get a camp early on and with Rohan anywhere, you can just pretty much guarantee a victory if your enemy is not fast enough to counter you. In fact, this outpost back here, I bet the AI hasn't taken this yet, because I've just locked them out from going out here. Yep. They have not even taken the outpost behind their base because I've trapped them. They've got only 3 resource structures, a library, and the barracks. And now we've got the Glorious King. And like Theoden, like Gandalf, when he gets healed, he gets more health and stuff as well. I mean, his first ability allies gain damage and armor. Then they gain fear resistance when he's at level 3. At level 5, they get bonus damage and armor, and also affects Theoden. Then at level 7, heroes are also affected, and at level 10, the range of the leadership is doubled. So having Theoden healed is one of the best things for the faction, because he just does everything amazingly. But yeah, look at this. They've invested into getting archers and lore masters. They could have gone in full pikemen, and I'd have to change up my entire strategy. But here we go. Now we've got the exile camp again, so we can get back our units we lost. And look, guys, I haven't even touched this building yet. We haven't got forged blades yet. We haven't got heavy armor, bandit carriers, or even forged workers or settlers tools. Although we are going to get settlers tools because we have so many settlements. We've just taken it all over the entire map. In fact, how many resource structures do we have? I'm going to count them all now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I will lead you.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 resource structures. So we're only making, from all our resource structures, we're making 80% of their normal production. But we've still got 15 resource structures. And we've got Theodred constantly making towers everywhere. And again, we would not have been making these towers as much as we have if he wasn't exiled. That's that little aura here. If he wasn't exiled, he would not be making this many towers as much as he is. And he also is a lot stronger because he is exiled. Now, back in the good old days, before some things got changed, Theodred and gambling were the 2 main targets for Theoden's exile power. Because if gambling is exiled, he can summon peasants more and more and more. But we'll talk about that when we get to seeing him. Oh yeah, another thing. We also got this unit called the Rohan hay carts. A new thing that I added in is basically a mine that's not a mine. It's really I personally have used it a lot, and I do not like it. It's a weird unit. There's a builder animation that just does very little.
What is your bidding?
It can damage a building, yes, but that's all it does. It can damage a building. Congratulations. Oh, and also I forgot to mention, from the exile camp, not the king's camp, you can actually recruit armor as well. Once it's made into the king's camp though, that's it, you lost your chance. You can't get armor from there anymore. You have to go and make another exile camp. But obviously from the king's camp you can make the 3 captains, but also the captain of Rohan. This unit has no cap. You can make this unit as many times as you want, and it is so broken because he has such a broken ability.
Our people must survive.
Yeah, this game has just been a nice bit of fun,
Nothing shall stand
really,
before
because
us.
Rohan is... Well, we got lucky because we were playing against Imladris. That was a random we started playing against, but it turned out to be Imladris, so we just kind of had a very easy start. But then secondly,
This is our land.
I love playing Rohan. And I chose a map that had an outpost right next to me. So, what does this captain do that's so special? Well, first let's give him the lead knights of Mediseld. So he is exactly the same as Elfhelm, Erkenbrand or Grimbold right now.
March order.
But his abilities are, Captain Rohan, the captain leads his men into battle and replenishes fallen members. No other unit can do that unless they've got banner carriers. And also, Mediseld Bravest. The Knights of Mediseld gain armor against all melee attacks except pikemen for 30 seconds. If you're doing a full glorious charge into somewhere,
We are
and you just
called to honor.
pop that,
We must go.
you're not dying.
We must
You're just gonna keep. You're just gonna kill.
is trampled. Evil days.
Evil day. So let's summon some more cavalry up to our command. Upgrade all our units as much as possible.
I will lead you.
And just run in and kill them all. Just keep making more towers. Oh, these are protecting the Bruin, and oh no! Oh, it's on the inside. It's okay, it's fine. They hit a hero and one other thing. Oh,
Nothing
can't wait to
shall
show
stand
Imladris. I
before
love
us.
Imladris. I love playing with Imladris so much. But I love Rohan just as much, in a way.
Evil is trampled.
Give you damage and armor. Okay, let's talk about the rest of Rohan's power tree since I haven't really talked about it. Units in the area gain damage for a few seconds and peasants become armed. Draft, peasants become armed from the building. You get a Druidine statue which can summon Druidine ambushes. This used to be a different power. This used to be a summon for 4 units of archers who did poison damage. And you can also had a hero with it. Then highborn horses. Once this power is unlocked, all cavalry of Rohan will gain royally bred horses upon achieving level 2. Extra health, slowing less when trampling foes, and stables will generate resources. I didn't know about that last bit. That's cool. That's cool. Let's quickly read this message. If you have this on disc, how many players on the Series X do you know? I do not know, unfortunately. That is something I am not attuned to. Unfortunately. But you probably can, if you know what you're doing. Vanguard of Rohan. This used to be the Steppe of Rohan, I think, where you would make a land like Tainted Land or Elvenwood, and you would make your units faster. These guys just kind of do the same thing, but whether they trample, enemies deal less damage and have less armor. Then you get Haldir. You can get the 3 hunters as well. But before, they used to just be a summon, and there were 3 individual heroes with 1 ability. Now, they are a permanent single hero unit with all 3 together. Similar to like the Fellowship of the Ring for the Imladris Ring hero. Cloudbreak, you're the only faction now that actually has Cloudbreak, I'm fairly certain. You're the only good faction that has a weather effect, if I'm not mistaken. The only good faction with a weather effect. Might be wrong on that. We'll find out soon enough. As I mentioned with Gambling, to the armory, permanently summons a battalion of peasants at level 2, and other peasants near them gain damage and armor. Obviously requires 63 command points to do it, but if you have those 63 command points like we currently do, you can do some cool things with that. Oh no, some more Royal Guard are dead. Just get them back immediately. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, when Gondor's normal way of upgrading their buildings was by upgrading them. Rohan does the exact same thing, but it's different. They have 2 separate choices. You can either give extra training speed, or you get advanced units. So you can go straight away to having your better things, or you can go instead choose to go for a different route and get your keep your normal troops because you're starting the game and you're getting your good troops out. for that tier. You're not spending a lot of money on things, but you get them back. You get them even faster, which is a cool concept. Obviously, for the arsenal, for the armory, for example, you acquire that to get the forged workers and settlers tools. You're the first faction that actually requires a ability to get your better troops, your better economy upgrades. Oh no, all my exiles and my royal vanguard are dead.
Nothing shall stand before us.
I'll just make new ones. We're actually going to stop right there just so we can talk about more stuff first, because I actually want to talk about a few more things. Siege garrison. It used to be that it would actually give this garrison to this thing, but now it gives you access to the 2 new units of your roster, the pitch throwers and the hay cart. So if you want, so Fairdred originally was a very defensive focused hero. He would summon these towers, give them massive protection, etc., etc. Now he is a reverse role where they start off as aggressive defensive tower, which is which starts off with little health, but then you upgrade them so that you give them these upgrades. They then become super efficient because you can make units from them, which are siege units, by the way. Here's your new siege hero, if it's not obvious. Every faction has like a siege hero that they look to, and in this case it is Fairdred. For Gondor it was, I believe, Boromir, or they might actually have a siege hero and they had a defensive hero like Beregond. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember too well. But yeah, and then finally the last 2 powers. These 2 powers have been through with Rohan forever, similar to Gondor. Last March of the Ents summons a lot of Ents and Treebeard. That's always been the same. And military camp. That has always been the same. If you watch the Gondor history video, you'll know that camp can permanently summon more Rohirrim with every tick that it goes on by. However, you do need the command points to get them, and you need to you can purchase upgrades for them. You can give them full armor, full banner carriers, full weapons after a small amount of time, and you also get resources from them which are not affected by supply lines, if that makes any sense.
We move onward.
Because similar to what I mentioned with the supply lines, some buildings, like a stables, if that started generating resources, it will not be affected by supply lines because it is not directly linked to supply lines. If that makes any sense to any of you.
Don't listen to me, my lord.
Anything else that's changed? Not really. As I said, Rohan, they haven't so much lost anything or had things majorly changed. They've had additions. They've had the exile camp. They've had Erkenbrand, Elfhelm, and Grimbold return to them. They've had the garrison tower made more efficient in the fact they've now got Fairdred put into there. Fairdred has been changed quite dramatically to be more of an aggressive style hero. Eomer has received no changes, he's always been the same. Eowyn has always been the same, she's always been the hero killer. Harmer has been the hero support. Merry has always been your scout hero. The Free Hunters are an addition in a way because of the way they're played out. I think the only real thing they've lost was the Aid of the Wazzers. This power, I think, is now terrible. I think that it is a shell of what it once was. It once was a glorious power that had so many glorious abilities attached to it, but unfortunately that got changed. One thing that has always been a thing of Rohan, and will continue to be a thing about Rohan unless they change it, is Theoden starting them off by banishing one of your important heroes. They use their abilities over and over and over again to just keep getting all these things. You've got 2 new siege units, which by the way, Rohan already had a large, powerful siege unit in the Onager and the Battering Ram. So yeah, personally, Rohan has received a lot, but has not really needed it in a way. I like how everything that's been added has made them more valuable, but the main thing about Rohan is you don't need everything. Like what I've done here, I only went into the Forge Workers and Settlers tools in the end because that's what we had. That's what I had left. I was going to talk about more stuff. I could have ended this 5 minutes ago because that's how I play Rohan. We get really aggressive really quickly and we just get that power. And before the end, let's get the Free Hunters. Let's just have them walk onto the field. Valor and honor have taken the day. Another glorious victory. And that is personally how I have played with Rohan and how I see Rohan now. They've always been the cavalry faction, but before you didn't have that like elite tier that you now have with everything else. So, but then they added in the exile camp. They've given them more value. Your units are so much more diverse now. You can go for a full peasant spam in the early game, then prepare your elite cavalry, fully armoured and filthy, and Edain with his ultra powers, glorious charge, sweeps everything off the board. It's such a beautiful combination. I've talked about it pretty much on all of my Rohan videos. I'm sure if you just go back and see. But yes, Rohan is the faction that has received the least amount of changes, but has received the most additions to their faction. And I hope this has been insightful, and I hope you've all enjoyed. Next up, we will have Lothlorien. We're going through everything that has changed for the elf faction I used to love, but has now received a little more hate my way, anyway. Okay. You have to go. Okay, Liavi. Thanks for stopping by.